viaci como tipo que mira. And this is toxic. And baby girl, yeah, sunt nara, minha vida. And I can't love you not until you try to heal. That's the deal. And I know I got a lot to give. And I gotta heal. E sui toxico. Gata preciso de você. And this is toxic 'cause I feel like I'm losing my voice, babe. Got blue honeys on me, stunting on me. Got stitched on jeans, and I'm running the league. Got an MVP, 'cause I'm running the league. E soy toxico, cada preciso de você. And it's a toxic cause I feel like I'm losing my voice, babe. And I can't love you not until you try to heal. And that's the deal. And I know I got a lot to kill. And I gotta heal.
Take it back. Welcome to the stream, everybody.
I'm getting older, and I just want some love. Don't need a shoulder. You can carry on.
Let's go.
Y viaci como tipo que mira. And this is toxic. And baby girl, yeah, sunt nara, minha vida. And I can't love you not until you try to heal. That's the deal. And I know I got a lot to give. And I gotta heal. E soy toxico. Gata preciso de você. And this is toxic 'cause I feel like I'm losing my voice, babe. Got blue honeys on me, stunting on me. Got stitched on jeans, and I'm running the league. Got an MVP, 'cause I'm running the league. E soy toxico. Ever since the night we spent, yeah, you said I had you bent, 'cause I had you on a trip, and it was a hell of it. So get gas in a limousine, killing niggas like a guillotine, and you know just what I mean. I don't mean it literally.
Everything's smooth, let's get it started. If you wanna play rude, we can get it rockin'. I'm the baddest when I walk in, yeah. I'm the big dog, I don't do no barking, yeah. I know watching me can be exhausting, yeah. Hush all that noise, you doing too much talking, yeah. My spirit on your ass and I'm watching, yeah. Just when you think it's time, you know I'm
Why you gotta
stopping.
lie? What you tryna hide? Why you can't come by? Why can't I just trust you? Taboo full of lies, the door will come to light. You gon' watch me rise, 'cause that's just how I got moves. That's just how I got moved.
You don't really wanna make love. Make love. How y'all doing today, man? How are y'all doing today? Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. How are y'all feeling today? Make sure y'all roll up y'all joints. Make sure y'all get y'all weed together. And let's get into it, baby. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. My ears itching. Why? Happy Saturday. This weed, boy. This shit, boy. Right. Hold on, we finna find something. Ooh, boy, this weed hitting, boy. How y'all feeling today? We gonna do a little gaming today. Smoke some tree as we doing. Cause everything irie, man. Woo. What you about to play? I'm about to play Expedition 33. Expedition 33. Let's watch some videos on this because I'm still trying to understand it. It's the game I'm about to play.
Rated M for mature.
You should never have come. You're only going to make things worse for everyone.
No. She chose to come. I didn't make the rules between you two.
You're fighting to change things.
For her to come after. Right?
I thought I was used to losing people.
Yeah, me too.
The music's so fucking loud I can't hear shit. What? That was just so much. That was just so much.
In this Clair Obscur Expedition 33 guide, I'm going to be going over some things that I wish I would have known before I started playing this game, and also some other helpful tips for new players out there. I would say that this game is not overly difficult, but it can be a little bit challenging at the beginning when you're first figuring out a lot of mechanics, and there are things that can just make your life easier if you know about them, rather than finding out about them halfway through the game. First thing we're going to discuss in this guide is weaknesses and resistances. Just about every enemy in the game has a weakness or multi.
Alright. I'm not gonna do that. He finna tell the game for me. Let's just open up the game. I gotta open up the game. Hold on, y'all. I gotta figure out how I'm finna do this. Cause I got the headphones connected. Hold on. I gotta see something. This shit smoking. Hold on, y'all. This might unplug. got going on, if you know what I'm saying. Because they using numerology, so what that mean? What y'all doing over there? That's why I'm gaming. I want to see if there's some codes in the game. Y'all saw that smoke cloud? Look at that. Let me show you something. Check this out. I don't know what just coming on my remote. Yo. This game is called Expedition 33. Controller. No, my controller not working. DM me, my love, so I can help you out. So I can understand what's going on. Yo, I'm not gonna lie, everything on my fucking computer just tweaking, man. Hold on, y'all. Can y'all hear me? Hold on. Alright. I guess that's not working. I can't do it. I'm doing alright. I'm alright, man. Yeah, I forgot. Stop doing this. That's what the take from. Is that it? Like, okay, I thought so. He said we're gonna have to pass on that game. Yeah, what kind of games do you play? What kind of games do you play? I'm gonna hop on Marvel Rivals too. The fuck is this shit? Let's see what her weakness is. What the fuck? This shit not working on this bitch. This bitch not going down, bruh. Damn! Fuck you, bitch. Come on, this hole! How am I supposed to beat this hole? Oh, this nigga killed my ass. Damn! Relax, fuck nigga. Whoa! How am I supposed to beat this bitch? I hit this bitch, she only go down 2 points. When she hit me, bitch, that's damn near the whole life. This is ridiculous. This mind hole. I gotta figure this shit out, man. I gotta figure this shit out. I gotta figure this shit out, man. How to beat this mom hole? Let me look this up. Oh, is it that right hand? Is it that right hand? Oh, bitch, you done. Damn, ho! This bitch! Come on! Bitch ass bitch. I'm fucked. Like, I'm like fucked. I'm fucked. Oh! Yeah, so that shit that's clean. Bitch, what are you talking about? Whole ass. Fuck, nigga. I gotta beat this bitch. On the real, I don't even game anymore. I sold my PS4 so I could focus on getting money. Myron Gold says dumb as a box of rocks for person we broke and watch a football game. I mean, I guess. It all depends on what your craft is. You know, if your craft is football, then obviously not. You know. But let me tell you what it is for me. Let me tell you what it is for me. For me, it's about doing what you need to do. Period. If it gets in the way, get rid of it. If it doesn't, who cares? That's how I feel. We try this bitch one more time. Can I hit her before I even... She can't be already damaged before I get there. Let me look this up. This ain't a game you can smoke and play. Says who? Says who? What's the weakness of the mind in... What's the weakness of the mind in Expedition 33? Hold on. Can break. Hold on. Let's try to break this fucking barrier. Ew. Oh. Come on, give me something, bro. This bitch don't fucking die. Look, her shit just now moving. Like, damn, this bitch. They still don't give me no health, no nothing, like. This bitch gonna do shit. got me now. I'm done. I knew it. Fuck this bitch. I'm gonna fight this bitch one more fucking time. One more fucking time. This ain't gonna do shit, watch. I don't gotta fight this bitch. Who said I gotta fight this bitch? I gotta fight this bitch. How the fuck we break the damn shit? How the fuck we break that? Deal more damage. Hold on, let me see what it says. Hold on. Hold on. How the fuck I break this bitch bar? You get it, bitch. Use Gustav's overcharge. Oh, okay. Huh. I'm done. Fuck this game. I suck at this. I'm bad at that. I need something to drink. Hold on. I gotta get better at that, y'all. Get down, bro. I gotta get better. Cause that was trash of me. That was trash of me. Let's see what's up. Let's see what's up. I'm about to finish this joint we was smoking.
We were talking about the video that Stylebender just put out. Shout out to Stylebender for putting this out too. We were also giving him credit because David broke him.
The higher we go, because if they're hurting.
See that comment?
They already did sprints on the Airdyne bike. They ran for distance. I don't know how many miles they ran, but he was exhausted after the run, then exhausted after the Airdyne, and then he does this, and then they do it all over again.
Yeah.
They start again with the fucking Airdyne machine. They go back and forth, and then it goes to sit-ups, and then it goes to... just like it never ends. And this is one... And then people go, he's not doing that every day. Well, fucking clearly he is.
Every day.
Clearly he is, because look at him. He's not even breathing heavy. Stylebender is dying, and David
Falling
Goggins
off.
is talking to him with normal breath. At the same time, a world champion, one of the greatest middleweights of all time, can't even keep his food down.
And remember, this is Stylebender who, against Kevin Gastelum, was saying, I'm prepared to die.
Yeah.
Going into the 5th round.
Yeah.
Looks across the ring, cage, says, I'm prepared to die. Same guy.
Same guy, yeah. There's levels when it comes to endurance. You know,
Yeah.
and I was telling you about when we were getting our infusions, when we were vaping stem cells today, I was telling you about BJ Penn when he was in his prime. When BJ Penn was in his prime, he was training with Marv Marinovich, and Marv Marinovich had very unorthodox training methods where it was all plyometrics, explosive drills, sprints, box jumps, all this crazy stuff. And he believed, and I hope I'm not quoting him incorrectly, but he believed that fight training was of secondary importance when you're in camp, and really what was important is to just have a fucking insane gas tank. Like, BJ Penn knows how to fight. He's a world champion. He's not going to forget how to fight. But you could get him training this way.
He going into some super fight shit. I just love David Goggins. That's just me.
I think no matter what people feel called to do, I think, you know, we get in situations where we have families to support, or, you know, people who rely on us, and so we can't maybe just quit a full-time job because there's other people relying on you.
Yep.
So
The MMA world is going crazy over David Goggins training Tony Ferguson.
This is where you win. This is where you win right here. Come on, Tony. Come on. This is where you win.
David Goggins started training Tony in a brutal Hell Week camp.
A lot of you saw the lunges video yesterday. Tony went for well over a mile. Stair climber, treadmill, high incline, assault bike, and then repeat that over again. Then at nighttime, we did a full leg workout. So a lot of you comments talking about rest and recovery, all this. A lot of you don't get it, man. He did rest. Now it was just an adaptation process.
David Goggins went on to say this in a recent post.
There is a look I see on the faces of people who are on the brink of quitting called the 1,000-yard stare. They start asking questions: when is it going to end? What's next? How many sets are left? Are we coming back again tonight? Is this healthy for you? This is when I usually start laughing my ass off. I tell them it is time to pack your bag and go home. Once you start asking these questions, I know you are not committed. I broke El Kukui on day one, or at least I thought I did. I had him deep in the hurt locker and figured the questions were soon to be coming. I told Kish late that it is done. But I was wrong. He woke up on day 2 even more fired up to go. There was never a question asked. His response was always the same: "Okay, coach." Around 11 p.m. on Wednesday night, when he could barely walk after having completed nearly 2 miles of walking lunges and a ton of other cardio and weight training, I figured I would put a fork in him and gut him. But the craziest thing happened. He gave me a crazy-ass smile and I could tell that he had flipped the switch. I was there for the rebirth of El Cucuy. It happened somewhere on the Jacob's Ladder at around 11 p.m. I knew then that the torture I was putting him through was no longer torture. In order to get through hell, you have to become the devil. And that night, the devil surfaced, and boy was it a beautiful sight to behold. We both laughed because we knew what was happening. A lot of people ask me if I think he will win his next fight. I don't have the first damn clue about that. That's up to Tony. What I do know is that the man who walks into the octagon on December 16th will be a deeply changed man. Sometimes when the fight is near, the warrior must go back home because home is where the hell began. My friends, Tony is home. Hello darkness, my old friend.
There's an adaptation process that goes into mental hardening. The body has to know you're not around with it. The mind has to evolve into something evil to do the things that he has.
I wonder why he lost. David, why do you think he lost? I want to know, David. What do you think he lost? Why do you think he lost?
I mean, when Goggins lived with me, his rule was we had to do something every day that sucked. That was his rule.
He's the master at that.
Yeah, tell me about it. And
what did he make you do?
Every day sucked. He didn't tell me that we're going to do that 5 times a day. That, you know. No, I mean, I remember one day, well, the first thing we did was he came and he wanted to see how many pull-ups I could do so he could map out the month. He lived with me for a month. And I went to the pull-up bar, and I got like maybe 8 pull-ups, which is an exaggeration. I probably got like 4 pull-ups. You know? A lot of people are listening, so I'll say 8. And then he said, all right, wait 30 seconds, go and do it again. And I went up on the pull-up bar, and I did maybe like 3 or 4. He said, all right, wait 30 seconds, I want you to do it again. And I got up on the pull-up bar, and I did maybe like 1 kipping, you know, getting my damn chin over the bar, barely. And I dropped down, I was all jacked up, and I said, all right, well, what's next? He said, well, what's next is we're not leaving here until you do 100 more. We're not leaving the gym until you do 100 more.
That day?
Now. Like right now.
Right now. So you had done like, 7.
I did like probably 7 or 10, and I was like, man, Goggins, that's impossible. And he said, you know, I already know what your biggest problem is. And he's like, the limitations you're putting on yourself are self-imposed. Get the fuck back on the bar. And, you know, Roger that, man. And I got up on the bar, and I over the course of an hour or 2, I did them. And that started our journey of like, you're about to go in a place where you've never been, motherfucker, you know? And, you know, we went, I remember one day I was sitting on the couch and in Connecticut where I was living at the time, and on the ticker on the TV, the emergency broadcast system came up. Stay inside, freezing rain, icy conditions, high winds, stay inside. It was like beeping, stay inside. And Goggins was like, this is amazing, man. Let's go for a run. And I'm like, they're telling us the exact opposite, man. They're broadcasting to the whole community to stay inside.
Right.
So we go for a 10-mile run in the blizzard, and we come home, and I lived on a lake, and kids are playing hockey on the lake. So we go down, and he takes his hand, and he moves all the snow off the ice. He gets a boulder, and he breaks the ice, a little hole in the ice with the boulder, and then he takes his hand, and he makes the hole a little bit bigger, and then he jumps in. And then he points at me, and he takes his finger, and he signals for me to jump in. I'm not going in the fucking freezing cold water, because my mother told me as a kid in Long Island, don't go anywhere near the frozen water. If you fall in, you have like a minute, you know?
Right.
He's bathing in it. So, of course, I go in, and he looks at me, he's like, man, you got about 2 to 4 minutes, you're going to get hypothermia. We just went on a run. We got to get you out of the lake. And I go to get out. He goes, you can't get out. He goes, if your skin touches the ice, it's going to stick to the ice like the kid in Christmas Story, his tongue that sticks to the pole, you know? So he puts my shoes back on my hands and picks my ass up and I put my socks on or whatever, and I bear crawl out of the ice, and I run up, and I see my wife looking out the window as I'm running into the house, and we come in, and she says to Goggins, you know, like, what's the medical benefit of jumping in a frozen lake? And he said to her, there's no medical benefit. She's like, this is what your husband signed up for. You know, he's like, I want to see how far he's willing to go to get to his goals. And I was like, fuck, this is going to be some 30 days, man. Jesus.
Wow. What was the toughest thing he made you do?
It was just the consistency of it. You know, it was just like, he went everywhere I went. He shadowed me for 30 days. He went to every business meeting. We flew together. He lived, with my wife and I.
Did you think, like, what the fuck did I sign up for?
This is back in 2010. So this is, yes, I did. I was.
And the book came out 2 years ago?
No, I waited 5 years. I didn't, expect it to ever be a book. It was just like, at all. There was no book being discussed. I kept a little blog about it,
So why'd you do it?
I just felt like there was so much in it. There's so many lessons, and it was funny. Fish out of water, like he's coming into our house. My wife owns Spanx. I mean, like the whole dynamic of this shit was crazy. And I just felt there were a lot of lessons that could be learned through it. And, I just took a shot at it.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he's a maniac. When he did the podcast, I got here, he showed up super early. And when I got here, he was already with his shirt off doing chin-ups. I was like, I walked into the back where the gym is, and he's in there. I'm like, look at this motherfucker.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's a savage.
Yeah.
He's legit.
But these are all the lessons, as you're talking about, and you don't know where the nuggets come from. You put yourself in a position for the nuggets to appear. And they don't have to be radical positions like I'm going to go get Goggins or I'm going to go live with a monk. They don't have to be radical. But you put yourself out there, like you were saying, and you live a life where those lessons find you.
Yeah. And seek them.
You seek them.
Yeah. Well, Goggins' story is so fascinating because he wasn't that guy. He was fat and out of shape and unmotivated and lazy and, talked openly about the first time he ran. Like, he quit. He was supposed to, he ran about 3/4 of a mile, I think he said, and quit. And he was exhausted and just drinking milkshakes and all fucked up. And somehow or another decided he's not going to be that guy anymore and went 180 degrees and became this intensely motivated Iron Man.
Yeah. Yeah, I was at the race. I saw him at the race where he broke all the bones in his feet, I saw him. I participated in that race. It's the first time I saw him. That's how I met him. And 2007. And,
He broke all the bones in his feet?
He broke, he was running 100. I was running this race. It was a 24-hour race as a relay team. I was with 4 friends. And the format of the race is whatever team runs the most amount of miles.
This nigga making everything about him. I just peeped that nigga. Asked him about David. He's like, well, I ran the race. Nigga.
Thing about it, man, I talk about my book, Open-Mindedness. What separates me from a lot of people is they go into a daunting task, and the task is overwhelming. Like, when I heard the pull-up record was 4,020 pull-ups, and I was talking about breaking this record, people are like, oh, my God. I went right to a pen and paper. They go, what are you doing? I'm doing the math, man. What are you talking about? I'm open-minded to the fact that, okay, if I do this, I can get so many pull-ups in. How much time do I have to rest? I was breaking the math down. You have to be open-minded to the possibilities that I can do this. Once you shut your mind down to the possibility that it can be achieved, there's no way it can happen. So that's why my eyes and my body light up about things, because I know that if you're in a fight, you have to attack. You have to keep attacking. The enemy has to know he is not going to give up. You must break the soul of whatever the fuck is in front of you. That's what I realized. I was never breaking the soul of anything in front of me. So that's why I came up with this thing called Taking Souls in my book. I started to devise ways to break a soul of a human being, of an object, of whatever's in front of me. If you keep on attacking something, nothing wants to stand in front of anything that is relentless. Nothing.
The Taking Soul part of the book is really interesting because you talked about like the mind shift that you had when you were in Buds.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's an intense part of the book.
It is. That's when a lot of stuff started clicking, man. I started watching those instructors on the side because there's 3 shifts. There's 8 instructors, 3 shifts. Because the guys going through Hell Week, they're up all day and all night for 130 hours. This is the promised land of mental hardening for me. I love this place. And you have the instructors who they've been there, done that. Now they're instructing you. So they do their 8-hour shift. They have their parkas on. It's usually cold, coffee, drinking their coffee, and they're beating the crap out of us. And when I started realizing, I started playing mind games. I was like, you know what? I bet these fuckers are looking at us, judging themselves about when they were going through Hell Week. About, let me see, I'm looking at Goggins right now. I was better than him. I was better than that guy. I was better than that fucker over there. And I was like, okay, you're going to judge me, right? All right. So that's what I'm going to do to you. So what I started doing was I got my Boat Crew 2. It's in the book. It's a great, great story. I said, come here, guys.
You can't break Boat Crew 2.
You can't break Boat Crew 2. So it's Wednesday, and everybody's broken. Everybody's beat up, man. And like this, when you start moving like a robot. Everybody's like just kind of just trying to get through Hell Week now, and your energy's zapped. And they know Wednesday's like that over the hump.
I love that you talked about that in the book, too, that they put it in your head that Wednesday you're going to be tired.
Oh, yeah. And that's another thing. They tell you how you're supposed to feel. So you are feeling that way. I was like, don't let these motherfuckers tell you how you're supposed to feel. No, it's day one, motherfucker. This is hour one. So I was getting my Boat Crew all jacked up. I said, we're going to take these motherfuckers' souls. So when they had us doing this simple thing that guys were struggling with, Boat Crew 2 was just launching the fucking boat in there, yelling, yeah, you can't fucking hurt us. You can't hurt Boat Crew 2. And I looked on the instructors' faces, and it looked like someone had just fucked with their soul. And I looked at my guys in my Boat Crew, and I said, hey, guess what? Those motherfuckers aren't fucking tonight. We own space in their fucking head. We own space. They're going to think about us tonight. They could think about how the
You're
fuck.
killing boners.
That's right. Charging. And we start fueling off of that. We start fueling off the fact that, man, it takes 1 second of energy to steal everybody's. And then you have all the energy you need. That's all you need. You need to look at someone's eyes. You know how it is when you fight somebody and you broke that motherfucker. He's like, oh, God, man, I don't want to go back to the next round. And you feel like, my God, I can fight all day. I can fight all day long. That's what taking souls is. But you have to have the will, the heart, the courage to go that distance when you're nothing left to give and give more.
That is an interesting thing about the mind, is that you can find inspiration, and when you find inspiration, when you get charged up, all of a sudden you have energy.
That's right.
It's
That's right.
It's weird.
I talk about in the book also is about I learned how to control my adrenals. If you know how you get that fight or flight response when you get to move real quick.
Yeah.
And I started learning the mind a lot, how to get myself jacked extremely fast, like in a horrible environment when everybody's miserable. I learned how to really find strength in the misery. When everybody's suffering, everybody's all poopy pants and their mentality's down and everything, I started just like, my God, this is where I shine. And I started using all that misery for tons and tons of drive and motivation to then lead people further. Because you can get a lot of power through misery. And once people see that, my God, Goggins is fucking going, then everybody says, roger that. Let me get my shit and go too. So I started realizing that if you can just find strength just a little bit longer, you will have a crew of people following you along the way.
And that is another thing that no one can ever teach you. You're going to have to learn that on your own.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to figure out how to pull that energy out of your mind on your own. There's no book you can read. Now, all of a sudden, I have it. I've got the technique now. I know how to do it.
Yeah.
No, it's a grind that you have to start and finish on your own.
You have to take great pleasure in the fact that no one wants to be where the fuck you're at right now. Great pleasure in that. And what makes, it has to bring a passion out of you. It has to bring something very, very weird out of you, man. Like, people don't really understand what that is. When you're in the worst environment possible, the worst situation possible, and everybody's looking like, God, man, I hope this ends. And you see that. Time slows down and you see that. You're feeling that. Everybody has that look on their face like, God, this got to go. I don't want to be here anymore. Cut out the bullshit. Cut out the bullshit. Just get to the weeds.
Tons of okay.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there's not much dark. So you're basically working a lot of hours. So and then when it gets dark, you're actually working through the nighttime, and then you get a little rest, and you wake up and you're at it again. And then when the fire's out, you patrol the fire, make sure there's no more hot spots, make sure everything is black and wet, because we literally wet the whole area down, so there's no hot spots. And then when that's all done, we'll demob, which means we'll clean up all the stuff, all our hoses. We'll pack up all our stuff, and then we'll get out of there.
Did you ask to be paid for this?
I get about, I think the pay is about $12 to $15 an hour. So, and what's funny about it, man, like when I first started doing this job, people didn't know that, I'm actually successful in business. And then it realized that I was like basically turned down millions of dollars to do this job, and they can continue thinking it
To make $15 an hour.
to make $15 an hour. So yeah, but like I said, for me, the whole money part of it, it's not what it's about. I'm all about that growth, and that growth isn't in these massive paychecks for speaking to corporations, stuff like that. The growth for me is in that 12 when you're out there and it's like 20 degrees and you're freezing your ass off and you're thinking, you know what? I don't need to be here anymore. And you start questioning yourself why you're here. And there's a lot of growth in that.
Why did you decide to release another book? What was undone with the first one?
Well, the first one was basically a bachelor's degree with the mind, is how I look at it. And no one knew who I was. So this is the book, Never Finished is the book that I wanted to come out first. But how am I going to get so deep into something when no one knows who the hell I am? So first, I have to give you some backstory on who the hell David Goggins is.
Some credentials.
That's it. And so I got some basic credentials out there. And now I can dive in more, because most people think I'm just some animal who runs and yells and just says fuck and motherfuck all the time. And that's nowhere near the truth. That's maybe what they see in a 1-minute video, and that's what people believe. But there's a lot of thought behind a person being a born loser, becoming who I am today. You don't just wake up and just it. You got to wake up and think about, there's a process to getting better. And that process is never finished.
It's an appropriate title. So one of the things that I've been thinking about is the danger of success making you soft.
Mm-hmm.
And this must be something that you've battled with over the last few years.
Right.
More money, more attention, more fame, more free things if you wanted, more opportunities to go places and do stuff with people.
Right.
How have you dealt with this battle of success not making you soft?
You have to cap it. You have to learn to cap success. So what I do is, like right now, I don't like doing podcasts. There's a lot of things I don't do that I have to do now to get the message out there to help people out. And what I mean by capping success, I believe everybody should live their life. So everything that someone says in life, take it with a grain of salt. Take
This man, look at his skin. Shit tight. Nigga got no acne, no discoloration, nothing. Just handsome squilliam. This nigga look like handsome Squidward. This is handsome Squidward. Keyboard not working.
what they give and don't be like, oh, David Goggins said this or whoever said this. No, do not take what I say and do exactly what I say. So for me, what makes me who I am, because my mission is very different than yours or anybody else's. I have to go into a situation knowing, okay, I'm a guy who wants to make people better. For people to get better, I have to continuously get better myself. For me to do that, I can't just say, oh, I have this resume. The resume is there forever. I'm good. I have to cap my success, because for me to help people out, I can't just say I did it once and I'm good. I have to continue to reinvent the wheel of the mind and figure out more and more ways for you to pull. Because if I have a cookie cutter message, it may hit 5 people out of 25. You just failed. My message needs to be in a way where I can hit all 25 people. It needs to be broad enough to where all 25 people may not like the message, but they're getting something from it. And that is evolution. You must continue to evolve. And you don't evolve, for me, in my job, unless I cap myself somewhere and say, okay, you made this much money, get back to fucking work. Period. It's time to get back to work. Stop hearing yourself talk. Get off the podcast. Don't be on social media too much. Cut out all the fucking noise. Get back to the fucking mental lab, because that's where the knowledge came from. So for me, I must cap myself so I can come back with better, more unique knowledge versus all that cookie cutter knowledge that's out there. That's why people buy the books I have, because it's not cookie cutter. It's real knowledge.
The other thing now is, when you first started, you were a Lone Ranger.
Right.
Nobody really knew who you were outside of some obscure endurance places and half-heard truths of these weird myths.
Right.
But now you've got people's expectations layered on top as well. So not only have you got to deal with success potentially making you soft, so you've got to cap that. You've got to say no to more money and opportunities and cool people.
Right.
You've also got this extra layer of expectation that's coming through from other people too. And I think that you talk about trained humility in the new book too. I've got to presume that that fits into this equation.
Right. It fits in big time. And that's one big.
Look, they got an orange light here, an orange light here, and an orange light here, overhead light here. Yeah. Interesting. That's crazy.
Reason why I do fight fire, because all the knowledge for myself comes from that place. It doesn't come from the place of success. My knowledge does not come from the place of, because for me, like, I built Goggins from the ground up. I was born David Goggins. David Goggins wasn't good enough. He was a scared, bullied, abused kid who struggled in life. And that kid, whenever something got tough, no matter how hard I trained, no matter how ready I was, whenever something got tough for me, David Goggins, the real David Goggins, would come out and he would quit. So I realized this over a period of time. So I had to build Goggins. And in that process, I had to go back to that mental lab. And that mental lab is at scratch. That mental lab isn't that.
The mic was probably low. What about now?
Trained humility. And so that's where I get better. I get better when I'm digging holes in the ground, when I'm waking up early knowing I don't have to do these things. That's where I get better.
So it's important to stay hungry.
It's important to stay hungry, but it's important more to stay humble within that hunger.
What does that mean?
So while you're hungry, a lot of people are hungry, but humility is everything.
What was that story about William Crawford?
Yeah. So this guy won the Medal of Honor. So he won the Medal of Honor, and which is the highest award in the military. And this guy went to the Air Force Academy, and he was a janitor. And no one knew who the fuck this man was. He had the highest award in all the military for heroics. For heroics, saving lives, putting his life on the line. Could have been killed. And he is now basically, cleaning shitters for young kids. And we can all imagine how that probably went. There's probably some, little bit of taunting here and there. And he just sat there and cleaned the shitter. So that's why he's in my trained humility part, because for this man to be at the level he was and have that kind of humility to go, I'm a Medal of Honor winner, but I'm going to put that in my closet, and I'm going to pick up my broom and dustpan, and I'm going to pick up, this rag and clean this shit for these young men. That right there is amazing for me, man. That's where you grow. That's growth, huge growth. And also it shows that he was doing his job. He was a servant. He didn't look at himself any better than anybody else. And the second you do that, you totally lost. You cannot look at yourself like people with me even. I always look at people. I know where you are. I know where, because I've been there. That's why I help so many people out. I've never been above you. I've always pretty much been beneath you, and that's where my knowledge came from. So I know how to reach those people who are in the dungeon, because I've been there so many times.
Speaking of getting too soft, did you see that there was a news story that came out recently about the treatment of SEALs during their selection process? Do you see this?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, they were getting sprayed with tear gas whilst they were on the ground, and they were made to sing happy birthday so that they couldn't hold their breath while it was happening. Right. And there was a